He's joining us online. And we have with us Associate Professor Dr. Chia Yuan, the DD for Research Development, fellow lecturers who are here joining in the room and also online, and all the postgraduate students. So welcome to our first session of Journal Club, and also welcome to all the newly registered students who have joined us today as a part of CS family. So as we know, today we are having two different events together. So I am Manmeet and I am the moderator for this welcome session, and I'm also the program manager for research ecosystem development and innovation. And fortunately, I'm also the advisor for the Postgraduate Society. So again, congratulations to all the newly registered students. I think there are few here, right, with us? Okay. So without further delay, let's jump into the agenda. So what we will have today is basically, we have the Dean remarks, welcome remarks. So the Dean, even he has some personal matters, but he's still actually looking forward to give you some of his welcome remarks and just have a chat with all of you. And then we will have the welcome session from Prof. Dr. Chia as well, and sharing session by two data to knowledge students, and we will end the session by 5 p.m. All right, so without further delay, I would like to invite Professor Dato Dr. Bahari Belaton to provide his welcome remarks. Prof. Bahari?
Okay. Hi, everyone. Dr. Mahmud, can you hear me? Or anyone in the room, can you hear me clearly?
Hello?
Is that good?
Yes, we can hear you. Yep.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thanks. Okay. First of all, thank you so much to Associate Professor Dr. Mahmud, Program Manager for Research Ecosystems and Innovation. She is also in charge of postgraduate research students. Also to Associate Professor Dr. Chia Yuan, the Deputy Dean for Research, Innovations, Industry, and also community engagement. Okay. And I saw that there's Dr. Nibras and perhaps some other of my colleagues also already, in the room physically. Just now I just browsed through the list of participants online. I noticed that there are a few also our colleagues joining the sessions through online. First and foremost, a warm welcome to all postgraduate students, especially those who are newly registered for this academic year. I understood there was around 40 or 50 something newly registered students from May to October this year. So some of you are very new, I suppose. This is probably your first engagement with the School of Computer Sciences. Those who have been here for a few months, perhaps you already been joining various events that the school has conducted, including the recently concluded CSPC, or Postgraduate Computer Science Colloquium. All right. Yeah, okay, of course. So once again, welcome and congratulations to all. So thank you so much to the organizing team for organizing this event. We have started doing these so-called welcoming sessions after realizing that for our, especially for our postgraduate by research student, that is everyone here, we do not have any specific events for you guys. So we have started doing it, if I'm not mistaken, since probably last year or the year before that. And I think this session is very, very important because it is, first of all, it is a point for us to welcome everyone on board to the School of Computer Sciences. Second, as you will see later, I think Associate Professor Dr. Chia will go through some of the academic procedures, some facilities, and other things, support services and whatnot, which for a new student, it is very, very important information for you to get yourself familiar with. So the purpose and of this welcoming session is, to me, is very, very important. I also understand that IMCC, International Mobility, the last CC I do not remember, but I know the last one is a center. The other C I could not remember it, but they are planning to organize another orientation for, but this one is for international students. If I'm not mistaken, is on the 12th or 13th of December this year. So when that one is, you will, I'm sure you will get the invitation. Please join that session as well, because then you can hear from the perspective or from the perspective of the university itself. So there will be agencies or various unit or department from the university, including from Institute of Postgraduate Studies, IMCC themselves, and various other unit and departments. Okay, so that beside that, so here, for me, postgraduate by research student is one of our backbones. It's very important. You play a crucial role in many aspects, but in particular for you guys, actually, you are helping the school to sort of promote our research profiles to the level where other people outside there, can see how much activities or how much thing that we have done along this line. And as you are all aware, or if you're not aware, USM is actually a research university. We have this status together with 4 other universities in Malaysia. So having this status, there is certain advantage given to the university. We will have some funding to support our research. This is in terms of research grant and whatnot, and also some funding to support postgraduate activities and whatnot. Yeah. As I said earlier, research is one of the backbone, and you guys play a very, very important role to assist the school to achieve whatever that we have set forth, and especially of maintaining that research university status. I do not have much to say, but perhaps I just quickly go through some point that I would like to highlight. I mean, maybe it's too early for you, but it is good for, especially for newly registered students, to be aware of some of these issues so that you know it, at the beginning, so you don't get surprised toward the, when you go through your study. You have another 2 or 3 years with us here, so you better get to know all of this important information, milestone and whatnot, which PM Chair will share with you later on. First and foremost, I think you are here, of course, to study, and you will have your supervisor, which is going to supervise you. But remember, supervisor is just a supervisor. I mean, as much as they can, they try to assist you in your research, but it is you who are the one who are going to push all the way through until you complete your study. So it's very, very important for you to be on alert, to chase your supervisor, to get good guidance from them. And of course, on doing this, hopefully you can finish your study on time. The other thing that I would like to highlight is that on the research ethic and also on the compliance. So it is very, very, sometimes it's very stressful, and sometimes it's very, attractive to do things that go beyond the norm in the sense that, for instance, you need to produce some papers and whatnot. And in that enthusiasm to chase for publish a paper, you might sidestep few things. And especially if, for instance, if the things that you sidestep or maybe accidentally you are doing things that are outside the ethics and the guideline. So you need to know this in very, very beginning. There are some research integrity and ethic that you have to uphold. So please make sure that you know them. You can visit USM legal unit. They have this some documentation about ethical guidelines and also regulation. I think IPS also have this. So this is very important. I just want to stress it again because in today's world there are so many things that we available out there. So if we are not careful, probably we without we realize it, we actually doing things that we're not supposed to do. So be careful of that things. With regard to funding and scholarship, that's another important information perhaps for the new student as well as for the existing student. The university right now they have this GRA Assist. GRA Assist actually offer under IPS. Normally you can apply it online. There are certain criteria that you need to fulfill. They open it every year, but I think for this year around they already closed it, if I'm not mistaken. But if there are some opening of GRA Assist, you'll try to apply it as much as you can. Apart from that, at the school level, we also engages, especially postgraduate students, to assist us in teaching assistant. There will be some. I mean, normally it's the beginning of the semester, like a few weeks back, and the school will try to get as many teaching assistant as possible. And if you are interested to apply for these positions, you can approach Deputy Dean for academic, or even you can talk to the course lecturer and whatnot. So those are the opportunities with regard to funding. Not a full scholarship, but we will help assist you in terms of your financial, perhaps. Apart from that, your supervisor might have grants, research grants, which sometimes those grants actually you can use, can be applied for fee exemption and things like that, or maybe to support your fees and whatnot. But this one you need to talk with your supervisor, and depending on the type of grant as well. I'm aware of, for instance, some of the industrial grants that some of our colleagues have, some of my staff have it. Did provide that opportunity for to pay the fees of students and whatnot. What else? Of course, recently, this is especially for Malaysian student. The Ministry of Higher Education, I think they just announced it's My Brains. There's a new scheme. They're going to be open in January. So keep on look at that. When it's open, I noticed that computer science or ICT was not listed there, but I think there are some, you can apply it. Normally this is for life sciences and engineering, but you can always apply it. So this is for local student. Keep an eye open on this My Brain, and also for supervisor perhaps to look and encourage your student to apply for that. Support services, I think later on PM Chair will explain further. Finally, perhaps, you're here for the next 3 to 4 years. You have to balance your life, your work life, your academic life, as well as your other life. You don't waste it. We have, later, as surely PM Chia will share with you the statistics that we have. So plenty for you for networking, to get to know your peers from other countries. Get involved in various activities that the school will be conducting throughout the year. There are so many events that we try to provide as much as we can to assist our students in their research journey. And then we also have committee of student staff committee that you can voice your views or feedback given to the school for anything that you feel that need improvement, or something that you would like to recommend or suggest. Of course, the Postgraduate CS Society, that's very, very important society that look after the welfare or anything with regard to postgraduate students. So get involved with those. Get to know who are in the postgraduate society and, voice your view and feedback to them as well. So there are many channels for you to, share whatever that you have in mind to improve or perhaps to assist you in your study with us. So, okay, I think I have spent more time than what I supposed to, but once again, I would like to welcome everyone and congratulate everyone, especially to those who are newly registered postgraduate research student with School of Computer Sciences. So with that, I think I pass back to Dr. Manmit. So I'll be here, I'll be listening, hopefully until the end. Okay. So, yep, welcome. And thank you so much for joining School of Computer Sciences again. So back to you, Dr. Manmit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Datuk Bahari. So for the encouraging notes and also some of best practice in research. So I hope all the postgraduate could learn and take some guidance from the remarks that the Dean have actually shared. Next, we will actually come to the, So next we have with us Associate Professor Dr. Chia Yuan, and today Dr. Chia is going to share with us US and CS family together with some best practice in postgraduate studies. So I pass the session to you.
Hey, good evening and welcome again to the School of Computer Sciences. My name is Chia. I'm the Deputy Dean for Research, Industry and Community Engagement. Just as a show of hands, how many of you are newly registered since April? April of this year until October this year? Just a show of hands. Hey, I think a good number. So I think in extending Prof. Bari's welcome, I'd like to welcome you also to the School of Computer Sciences. My briefing, I think, would benefit more the freshly registered new students as opposed to those of you who have already been here before April this year. So just bear with me. I think maybe it's also good that you are refreshed with the, the best practices for the school. But I shall start first with introducing to you, especially to the new students, the some background of USM and also the School of Computer Sciences. Okay. This is our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dato Sri Insinyur Dr. Abdul Rahman Muhammad, and his line of Deputy Vice Chancellors. For Academic Affairs, we have Professor Narima, and then for Research and Innovation, we have Professor Habibah, and for Industry, Community, Network and Institutional Sustainability, we have Professor Azlan. Okay. A little bit about the school. The school started off as the School of Mathematics way back in 1974. Eventually, computer science was incorporated as one of the departments at the school. And then eventually, in 1995, we were established as a full-fledged school in USM. Okay, in terms of staffing, we have 44 academic staff, and the rest are technical, administrative, honorary professors, gig economy staff, and also postdoctoral students. So all in all, we have roughly 40 plus staff at the school. And at the school level, this is the top management. You have already listened to Prof. Bahari's welcome. I am one of the deputy deans, and the other deputy dean is Associate Professor Dr. Nurul Hashimah, and she handles academic and career and also international affairs. We have 4 program managers ranging from the undergraduate computer science program handled by Dr. Chew. We also have the program manager for industrial training, student activities and community engagement that is under Associate Professor Dr. Sufril. For the postgraduate coursework and mixed mode program, we have Associate Professor Dr. Wong Lee Pei and Dr. Manmit, Associate Professor Dr. Manmit. She handles the research ecosystem development and innovation. Basically, she also handles postgraduate student affairs, especially the research program. Yeah. Administrative wise, we have Madam Mafuza. She's the Senior Assistant Registrar, and she handles more or less the postgraduate by research students. Okay, so you deal very much with her in terms of your candidature and stuff. And Madam Zuhaida, she handles more the postgraduate programs for the coursework and mixed mode programs. Okay. We also have a lineup of very senior staff. Our Professor Emeritus, Prof. Zarin, she is also the founding dean, and Honorary Professor Dr. Rosni and also Honorary Professor Dr. Abdullah Zawawi. They are our honorary professors. We also have one adjunct professor. He is attached to the University Technology of Brunei. He is Associate Professor Dr. Ibrahim Wenkat. And we also have all our academic staff. Okay, I won't go through all. I think we can just acknowledge some of them who are here in the room here. We have Dr. Lim Chia Yen, there, Associate Professor Dr. Gan Keng Hoon. We have Dr. Nur Sakira, Dr. Nibras. Yeah, okay. I think that's all. And then in terms of technical staff, we have Inche Hizir and also Inche Tamizi. Bronzy. Sorry. Yeah. So yes, and I think there are a few other staff who are joining us online. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. In terms of academic staff, we are also attached closely to the National Advanced Center for IPv6. We call them the NAV6 Center. Yeah, so they also engage with us in terms of research and teaching, etc. as well. Yeah. Okay, we also have our IT officers and also assistant IT officers. They handle our network infrastructure and stuff like that. So we have Encik Nor Azman, Encik Amran, Puan Obaizura, and also Encik Hiziria. Okay. And these are the staff from the administrative office. Among them, you will deal very closely with Madam Sheila. Okay, she handles a lot of the postgraduate by research program. Okay, Madam Sheila, and also just now Madam Mafuza here. Okay, so they are our administrative staff for the research program. This is our line of technical staff. They also see to your labs on level 4. Okay, so these are the lineup of staff headed by Shik, okay, in the center here. All right, good. So that is the brief introduction of the USM and also of the school. I will now go through with you some nuts and bolts associated with the research program, okay, at the school. Okay, a little bit of statistics. As of yesterday, in terms of our 2023 intake, okay, that means new students who have registered. So we have 53 now PhD students and 10 Masters by Research students. Okay, and the rest of the numbers here you see on the screen are the coursework and mixed mode program. So this year alone, we have so far admitted 282 new students. Okay, which is quite a sum. In terms of enrollment, which means this is our total postgraduate population. That means including those who have registered last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and all the super seniors. We have 300 over PhD students and 47 Masters by Research students, right? If you notice also, a large portion of our research students are actually international students, yeah? And in total, we have 835 postgraduate students. And this includes the coursework and mixed mode program and also the research program. And I think I can safely say this is more than our undergraduate students. Okay, so that's the difference in the ratio. Okay, this is a little bit more on the research students statistics. This is for PhD alone. Okay, for PhD alone. So the numbers, if you can notice, is increasing every year. Okay, and as we mentioned earlier, 300 over students are the new total population of PhD students up to now. Yeah. And this is for the masters. Masters, so far this year, I think we have declined a little bit. Okay. This is our enrollment by country. So which means this is the total population by nationality. We are a little bit of a mini China at the moment. Yeah. Pardon the pun. Yeah. We have 330 in China, Chinese students. Okay. Yeah, this includes the coursework and mixed mode program as well. So all the postgraduate students included, yeah, the majority of the postgraduate students are from China, and the others are from the Middle Eastern and also African countries. Okay, right. Okay, just an overview of all our programs. So these are all our postgraduate programs. The most popular being the data science and analytics by coursework. The informatics program we are phasing out, but we have just introduced the digital transformation program. We started last semester, so this is our second semester running, and hopefully the numbers will increase. So, but you guys here are for the bottom two here, Masters of Science by Research and also PhD by Research. So I'll just very quickly highlight to you. You can go to the website to find out further details, especially the learning outcomes and the various structures and clusters that you should accustom yourself to from the school's website. Okay. I won't go through in detail this one. So yes, just want to highlight to you also, your research would invariably come from three main clusters. The first one will be data to knowledge, and this is more the AI type of research. And the sub-bullets there, you can see all the sub-areas that are relevant, from ranging from computational intelligence right up to language and knowledge engineering. In terms of service computing, these are from the information systems, software engineering type of research, and also maybe the social computing kind of research. So if you notice the sub-bullets there, you have enterprise computing and also software engineering and etc. etc. Okay. And the third one is enabling technologies and infrastructure. This is basically the systems and networking and security-based research. Okay, as you can see from the sub-bullets. The three clusters are headed by the cluster leaders, and these are the three cluster heads. So Associate Professor Dr. Gan King Poon is the head for data to knowledge, enabling technologies and infrastructure. We also call it ETIC, E-T-I-C, ETIC is headed by Dr. Najwadi, and service computing is headed by Dr. Noor Atiyah. Okay. So for the CS Journal Club, we actually take turns, the clusters take turns to source for presenters. So invariably, each of you, your supervisors, will be in contact with the research heads, the research cluster heads, to slot you in for your presentations, right? Okay, a little bit about the Postgraduate by Research welcome pack. Now, if you have not already met up with Madam Sheila, please contact her as soon as you can to accustom yourself with the administrative process of the school. All right, she will brief you regarding the welcome pack, which means she will introduce to you all the necessities in terms of your prerequisite courses, the CSD forms, and also what you should reach at certain milestones along the way. Okay, so at the moment now, I just breeze you through these three main items. So they have the prerequisite, the CSD point, and also the route to the Viva. Okay, so in terms of the prerequisite courses, there are three main types of prerequisite courses. The first one is regarding the domain-specific prerequisite courses, which means some of you may have had insufficient background from your bachelor's or your master's program when you applied to do your PhD program. Okay, maybe for example, your bachelor's was maybe in computer science, but maybe your master's you did some MBA or something like that. But your PhD, you wanted to do something related to networks or security or something like that. So which means your master's and bachelor's background is insufficient for your PhD program, and therefore we prescribe to you some extra prerequisites to take so that you are better prepared to do your PhD. So those are the domain-specific prerequisite courses. All right, it will be stated on your offer letter. Okay. The other prerequisite is the research methodology course. At the moment, all the new students are required to take EKC 500, which is the Science and Engineering Research Methodology. Right? Starting this semester, you have to register this by yourselves. Okay? So there is a form to fill. So yeah, register for this course. It is recommended that you register as early as possible, first or second week, for this course, because any later than that, you will then lose out, and we will then advise you to register next semester. Okay? If you're already late, don't register now, register next semester. Okay? And this one is a pass or fail. So you minimally need to pass. Okay, there's no grade for this. For the international students, you also have to register for LKM 111, which is Malaysian Culture and Malay Language. Right? This one is graded and you need to pass with a minimum of grade C. Okay? I understand that LKM 111 is done in terms of a online learn by yourself kind of course. There's no week by week kind of lecture. So that one is a very, very flexible kind of course. So please register for LKM 111 as well. Okay? Can prerequisite courses? Okay. Now, regarding the CSD points, okay. Now, this is a requirement by the school, not by USM. Okay. Now, the CSD points here is to ensure that you maintain an active student life in the school. Okay. So you collect CSD points. For example, attendance during our journal club meetings, you also collect points. Okay. Seminars organized by the school, also you collect points. Okay, example. Like for example, we have our annual colloquium. Okay, every year we have our colloquium. Again, this is compulsory to attend. Every colloquium that you attend each year is 5 points. So it's compulsory for you to collect 10 points, which means 2 colloquiums during your candidature. Okay. And the others, the number of points will vary. Okay, sometimes it's 1 point, sometimes 3 points, 5 points, depending on the length and importance of that particular activity. Right. Now, some of these are mainly just to collect attendance, which means as long as you scan your attendance, the school will already take note of your attendance. Right? Some there will be a certificate and some there won't be certificates. Okay, but just bear in mind, your attendance is noted by the school. So all you have to do is to maintain a record in the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, the CSD point form is actually an Excel spreadsheet. So just maintain that Excel spreadsheet as you go along. Right? So as soon as you finish one activity, you can already fill up add an additional row in your spreadsheet. Okay. Try not to wait until the end because then you might forget what activity that you have attended. So collect the rows, fill in the rows as you go along. Okay, there are also different tabs. At the bottom of the Excel spreadsheet, there are different tabs. For example, there's a colloquium tab, there's a research seminar tab, poster tab, and etc. etc. So fill in those information according to the different tabs. Okay. Now at the school, Madam Sheila keeps a record of the attendance of those different activities. So when you eventually submit your CSD form, she will then verify whether or not those activities were really attended by you or not. Okay? So that's how the CSD point form works. You fill it in as you go along. Right? Huh? If you notice that the colloquium one is highlighted in yellow because we do not want anybody to miss out on attending the colloquium. It's compulsory, these 2 colloquiums during your candidature, right? During any 1 year, there might be certain activities which are online, like for example, the workshop, but the main day is usually face-to-face, okay? And we encourage you to be around to attend the colloquium physically, okay? Okay, these are the activities, workshop, fieldwork, publications. Okay, so publications also count in your CSD points. Okay. Okay, the third item here I want to highlight is the route to Viva. Okay, so right on the left, if you notice, will be your registration at Computer Science School and also at IPS. So this is where you begin your journey, right? So all of you have done that. And right at the end is when Senate approves your Viva results and you attend your convocation. So in between, there are certain milestones that you need to meet on the way, right? So after you have registered, okay, at computer science and at IPS, so the first things that you need to do is to register for your prerequisite courses as soon as possible, register for EKC 500, take the necessary domain-related prerequisite courses, and also the language courses for the international students. All right. So that is done at the beginning as soon as you can. And then you come to your proposal review. Okay. Now, there are 2 different ways to approach the proposal review depending on whether or not you are a master's student or whether you are a PhD student. Okay. Now, the master's students, preferably you should go through your proposal review maybe within the 3rd to the 9th month. All right. So that means as soon as you can, because the candidature for masters are shorter. So you should clear the proposal review soon. For the PhD students, perhaps within the first 6 months to 1.5 years, you should already clear your proposal review. Okay. Now, for the master's students, there's no research review, but for the PhD students, okay, by the time you reach the 2-year mark and 3.5-year mark, perhaps at some point you should already present your research review. A research review means you have done sufficient experiments and you already have some results, and you are going to tie up already. Okay, so by that time, you should already schedule your research review. Okay, and by the time you do your research review also, you should collect sufficient CSD points already. Okay, 40 points is required by the school. Okay, 40 points. And during the research review, if the panel agrees that your research is okay, that is also a sign that you are cleared to submit your notice of thesis submission. All right. If the panel feels that I think something is wrong somewhere, insufficient experiments, blah blah blah, then you will not be allowed to submit your notice of thesis submission yet. All right. Okay. Now, once everything is clear, then you can submit the notice of thesis submission, and then finish writing up your thesis, submit your draft copies, and then just wait for your Viva. All right. After the Viva, there are also a few things to check. There are certain graduation requirements imposed by USM. Okay. For the PhD students, you will need at least 2 indexed journal articles. Yeah. So it can be Scopus or WOS. But if you have already one Q1 or Q2 article, that is already sufficient, okay, for PhD. For the master students, you only require one index journal article. Okay, now without which you cannot attend your convocation. Okay, they will withhold your convocation until you have fulfilled the publication requirements. Right? Any question at this point? Nope. Okay, good. Now, a little bit more detail about the proposal review, especially the newer students. So as I mentioned earlier, there is a time frame to clear your proposal review. There is a report to submit. Okay, so officially as a guideline, it doesn't have to be too long. Maybe 40 pages is already sufficient. Right? And you should give notice to the general office at least 2 weeks before your planned presentation date, okay, so that we can make the necessary preparations. For the evaluation, okay, for the proposal review, there will be 3 panel members, okay, for PhD and 2 members for the masters. Okay. After the proposal review, the panel will give a recommendation whether to proceed or to represent the proposal review. Okay. For the research review, some similar requirements as well. So there's a time frame here. And again, the research review requires a report. We do not require you to submit your draft thesis. Many students, in practice, they tend to submit their draft thesis. Okay, but it's actually not necessary. A concise report with enough details of the literature, your objectives, etc., is actually already enough. Okay. Again, 14 days prior, please inform the school. Yeah. And this is required only for the PhD program. So 3 panel members who would then recommend whether you can proceed with the notice of thesis submission. Okay. Now, starting from this semester, that means those who just registered in October, we are trying to put forth a more structured approach for the proposal review and the research review. Okay, mind you, for the older students or for the more senior students, this time frame, 6 to 18 months, it's a bit fluid. Okay, and many a times students and of course the supervisors also, they get carried away and they don't keep track of these milestones. Okay, so for the newly registered students, we are trying now to implement a more structured approach for your candidature as follows. Phase 1A is your research methodology. Okay, this is already expected, yeah. But this is the one that we are trying to implement. For the proposal review, you should try to present by the first year. Okay, within the first year, present. If you don't present within the first year, we will schedule one for you anyway. Okay, we will force you to present by the end of the first year. Okay, why we want to do this is to get feedback. What challenges you're having? Why are you not, finishing your proposal by the first year, etc., etc. Okay, if you're still not ready, so be it. Present, and the benefit that you'll get is the panel will then give you feedback, comments, and hopefully you'll clear it the next round. Okay, so if you're asked to represent, then within 6 months, again, you should present your proposal review again. If by 6 months you don't present, we will schedule one for you anyway. Okay, after the 6 months. All right. So that will be the flow. Now, if at any point your progress is poor, okay, this is within the first year or any time during the representation of your proposal review, at any time your supervisor feels that your progress is poor, there is a mechanism imposed by IPS during the progress report. The supervisor can then flag you as an unsatisfactory student. Okay, when you are flagged as unsatisfactory, the school can then issue you with a show cause letter or warning letter. Okay, explaining why you are not satisfactory. Okay, if you collect 2 of these warning letters, we can then start deregistering you. Okay, so this is, please do not think of this negatively. It's just to keep you on your toes, okay, so that you be mindful of your research and to try to finish your research as soon as you can. Okay, And so phase 2 is the research review. And the research review, we are trying to schedule you 2 years from the time you finish your proposal review. Okay, so within the 2 years after your proposal review, you should try to present your research review. And again, if you don't present it within 2 years, we will schedule one for you anyway. And the same procedure. If it is unsatisfactory, we will schedule one again after 6 months. Anyway, okay. And same thing. If the progress is poor, subsequently, through the IPS progress report, we can flag you as unsatisfactory, and then the show cause letter and all that will follow. Okay. Phase 3, hopefully you can then proceed with your notice and viva and corrections and graduate. So this is just a brief overview of what you can expect. So phase 1 is the first year. Phase 2 will be the 2 years subsequently for your research review. And then phase 3, your thesis submission. For the master students, the proposal review, we are going to expect you to do it in the first 6 months, right? Some of you may be here part-time, especially the local students. So all this timeline will be multiplied by 1.5. Okay, so instead of within the first year, then it's within the first 1.5 years, right? Okay. Now, what is this regarding the progress report and disciplinary action that we are explaining to you? Now, see, the progress report is required by the student and the supervisor after every semester. Okay, compulsory. Every semester, the supervisor will have to fill, and also the student will have to fill. Now, this is also required for you to complete in order for you to re-register the next semester. Okay, please remember, every semester you have to renew your candidature. So that means for the older students, remember, for the older students, in October, you were asked to renew your candidature. All right. So, and prior to that, sometime in September, you were requested to do your progress report. Right. Okay. So similarly, for the newly registered students, sometime in next year, January, February, you will then fill your progress report so that you can renew your candidature in March. Okay. The show cause letter is issued if your progress report is unsatisfactory, 1, or the supervisor lost contact with you. Your status is unknown, you MIA. So that can also be grounds for issuing the show cause letter. Yeah. Right. The last thing I want to speak about is postgraduate life and some advice. Okay, so meet your supervisor regularly. Okay, meet your supervisor regularly, because if you don't meet your supervisor regularly, the supervisor don't know what you're doing, and everybody will tend to be complacent. Okay, and the candidature will drag on and on and on. And establish a comfortable working framework with your supervisor. Okay, some supervisors prefer very regular meetings. Some supervisors are more laissez-faire. Okay, when you're ready, you come and see me, kind of thing. So agree to a working relationship, how often you want to meet up, what are the expectations at each meeting, etc., etc. Okay. The other one is establish a routine. Okay. Personally, when I was doing my postgraduate studies, I treated my postgraduate studies as work. So I came in at a set time and I left at a set time. You know, it's like doing my work. Okay, as if I'm working. Similarly for you, you might want to choose a routine that suits you better. Maybe you would prefer working at night as opposed during the day. So again, your routine will be different from other people. Yeah, but it's important to have something regular so that you be the most productive when you need to be. Okay. The third advice here is write, and write. Okay. Writing not only helps you to meet the publication requirements and blah, 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 but it also helps you to consolidate ideas. Okay. Helps you to combine, reformat, or whatever. Okay. So it helps you to clarify your ideas. And of course, all these, reports or whatever that you can present to your supervisor, this can also be re-edited and massaged into thesis chapters, okay? And also your future papers, right? Now, I think Prof. Bari also briefly mentioned about KPIs and stuff. So we actually treasure and value our postgraduate students because they are the backbone of our school's publication KPI and also the school's grant KPIs. Okay? Who does the research for the grants? The students. Okay? Who draft papers for the grants and also the school's KPI and the university's KPI? Are the students as well. Okay, so a lot of the bulk of the publications and research work comes from our research students. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth point here is be participative. Okay, get to know your students. The school is actually very active. The postgraduate society is very active. So join the activities and make yourself known. Okay, because by participating, you also build your network of friends. Yeah. And also potentially also your academic network. Now, the point on the left there, build your academic network. This is also the most opportune time because you are still studying, get to know people, attend conferences, get to know who is who are the experts in this area, and then, you can then collaborate and all that. Okay, the last two items I want to share is no less important than the other points, okay? Mental health. Okay. Some of you may have left your jobs to study. Okay, so finance could be a constraint. Some of you could have left loved ones in your home country to come here to study. So there's a lot of pressure and strain on you as a student. So please, take care of your mental health. If you feel stressed, pressured, and whatever, talk to your supervisors, talk to us in the upper management. Don't suffer in silence, okay? Yeah, don't suffer in silence. The other thing here is also quality of life. Yeah, studying is not everything. Don't forget to eat. Don't forget to play. Yeah. Some of you are here with your family, right? So, yeah, maintain a healthy lifestyle. You are also a member of the family and also a student at the same time. So make sure you have a well-rounded life. Personally, I also enjoyed my postgraduate life because I also maintained and had new hobbies during my postgraduate years. And so I hope you can also do that. Yeah. Okay. Prof. Bahari mentioned various support for postgraduate students. One is the Graduate Research Assistant Scheme by IPS. The school level, we also have publication incentive, but in view that it is already end of the year, all the incentive for postgraduate publications have already been depleted. So, but fear not, hopefully next year we get another round of funding and then we can then start another new cycle for publication incentives, okay? This year we had 750 ringgit each 750 for each Q1 and Q2 publication, right? We also have a subcommittee for postgraduate programs. This includes staff, students, and also representatives from the coursework and mixed mode program. So yeah, know who they are, and they are also working hard to organize various activities. And with that, I thank you. I shall hand back to Associate Professor Dr. Mamit. Thank you. Before that, any questions? Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much to Dr. Chia for sharing on the postgraduate studies. I think he have given a very good limelight on what is the latest that we are actually looking at the structuring part of the program reviews. So next, like what the Dean and also Dr. Chia have mentioned, quality of life, having a balanced life. So we in the CS school, we do have, we actually prepare several activities for the postgraduates as well. So let me just run through some of these activities. So as you can see, we have 4 different activities, which is the Journal Club. We do have the Research Enhanced Workshop Series. There is also the Postgraduate Bulletin and Postgraduate Colloquium. So just going through each of it, all right? So as you know, today is one of the Journal Club, and this Journal Club is being handled by the Data to Knowledge cluster. So if you see in every Journal Club, you will have 1 staff and 2 students. So they will come together and you can share any of your research, any of your progress. So this is very good for you to mingle around, peer support, feedbacks on your progress. Okay, so I hope that all the students can take opportunity to join the Journal Club. Next is, so Journal Club, this is the committee members. We have new members and also some old one that is willing to help us. So Gabriel is the new MC. We have Nur Shamira Sabri. She is also the president of CS Society, Postgraduate Society. And we have Nur Izzati, Fatini, and also Tulfikar. So I hope there will be some more students that want to join in, okay, and help all of us to work together here. Next is Research Enhanced Workshop Series. So this workshop series are being presented by experts of domain. So if you see this type of announcement, please do join us. So you can actually learn many new things from all these experts. So these are just some that we had earlier by this year. This is the postgraduate bulletin. So if you go to our website, you can actually see there are 2 series of bulletin that have been published. So, and then volume 3 is upcoming. So the society, I think there are some of them are going to work on this. So if you feel you have an article, you want to write something, you can actually contact the society and they can put in your article in this. It's very good because the whole university will actually have access to the bulletin. All right. And this is obviously our CSPC 2023. So we had this year in Science at USM. So these are some of these captures that we have actually snapped during the event. So this year we had for 3 days, which was last month on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Okay, so looking into that are some of the activities that we have actually conducted. And on the society, so as I mentioned, this is the new society. So if you want to join the society, there are still slots. All right, so please don't shy away. Come in, join, and let's work together for the sake of helping each other. All right, and believe me, the society would, besides just doing research, you will also learn some leadership skills, communications, engaging, networking, and so on. So thank you to these marvelous people who have actually decided to be a part of the society. All right. And okay, looking into the facilities, we have labs. We have 2 labs for the postgraduates. And within the labs, you also have the meeting rooms as well. So I think you are aware of all these. And those who are online, please know that we have all these facilities as well. And for the labs, we have postgraduate lab associate. So this is the new members of the lab associate. For lab 402, you have Gabriel, Shamira, and Hazika. And 404, you have Zhang Yanbing, Yu Xingfu, and Samsudin. So what do? Is they will actually monitor that all the students use the lab ethically. All right. So make sure you take care of the cleanliness, don't make necessary noises, and so on. So if you have any issues in the labs, please go and see your representative. We will actually put up their pictures in each of the labs. Okay, very soon you will actually be seeing that as well. And this is your launch. So postgraduate launch, I think all of you are aware on this. Okay, so this is where you can actually relax and have some sort of retreat as well. And this was some of the activities that we had. We had an excursion. Later we will share the video of the excursion together with CSPC. And we also had some writing boot camp. And for next year, I believe we will have seminars, workshop again. And for next year, CSPC, we will try to have the main day will be physical, that means face to face. And one of the day will be on the workshop, which is online. So this is some of these pictures. And I do have this Padlet, okay, which I will be sharing later on with all the postgraduates through emails and so on. So you can have a look. It's just what we have actually discussed earlier. So these are some of the moments. You can see some lecturers as well. Okay, happy faces. So all of this is you actually. All right. I think we had this during CSPC and excursion and so on. Okay, so I think it's time to view the video. Hang up for a while. I think I have to stop this. Right. Okay, yeah.
Stop dulu. Stop. Stop ni. Okay, doktor share. Lepas tu klik ni.
Nice.
Optimize. Ambil ni. Share. Okay, maximize dulu. Okay. Doktor tekan.
All right, so I believe all of you have enjoyed the video. So we hope that all the members of Postgraduate Society and also the students can be a part of our CSPC next year. And we hope we can capture more memories together. Okay, so with that, I would like to end the welcome session. So if you have any questions, please don't shy away. You can anytime see Dr. Chia or talk to me as well. Okay, so now next move on to our next event, which is the sharing from data to knowledge slot. Okay, so I will have the MC, Mr. Gabriel, to come and take over the session. Thank you. Yes.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed, for moderating the welcome session. Now we are moving to the next sharing session. And as you can see on the slide, we have two presenters for today. So without wasting much time, I will invite the first speaker. But before I do that, please note that Q&A will be at the end of each presentation. So you can hold on with your questions if you have any. So let me invite Mr. Ige Oluwaseun Peter to share on the topic, a multi-univariate ensemble of filter future selection based on concatenated weighted voting for text classification. Is it on the board? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Share again. Share again. Go back. Go to the website.
I see. Okay, Webex, sorry.
After it's in the website. Okay. The computer is there. Share again back. Share.
Okay.
Share.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Peter.
Let me stand on the existing protocol. My name is Ige Oluwaseun Peter, and my supervisor is Associate Professor Dr. Ken Yan. A multi-univariate example of filter feature selection based on concatenated weighted voting for text classification. That is what I want to share this evening. I have my research outline, background to the study, text classification, dimensionality reduction, example feature selection, then the problem statement, research objective, summary of literature reviews, research methodology, experiment and performance evaluation, conclusion, and references. The goal of text classification is to automatically categorize text document into relevant classes or topics, making it easier to organize, search, retrieve textual information. From the diagram, we have text classification. We could have single label or we have multi-label. And by single label, each document is assigned to most relevant category. That's what many of us are used to. The news article, the sentiment analysis is either a positive, neutral, then negative. Then under the spam email detection, whether it is spam or not spam, those are single label methods. And for the multi-label, each document can be assigned to multiple categories. An example is assigning topics to research papers that can cover multiple subjects. For example, keywords. Keywords to an article could be 3 or 4 keywords. That means any of those keywords could easily point out to the same article. So that is actually multi-label. Another aspect of multi-label is the multi-class classification. Multi-class classification is a system whereby we have many classes, but each can only be to a class. So that is another special class of the multi-label class. And some of these challenges of multi-label class or multi-class is that it's difficult to have very high accuracy simply because of so many classifications that have to pick in between. Dimensionality reduction. High-dimensional data refers to data set where the number of features is significantly larger than the number of samples. So we are facing some of those challenges that we have features that are larger than the samples. So it becomes a little bit complex. And most of these data are unstructured, difficult to process, and even require more storage to analyze. So for the dimensionality reduction, we have the feature selection, we have the feature extraction. Feature extraction, you are extracting the old case in which is different completely from the features. And for feature selection, you are just picking a subset of it. So we are concentrating more on feature selection where we have about 5 divisions, a filter, wrapper, embedded, hybrid, and example. Our filter method, it has statistical properties and it doesn't take cognizance of the interaction or dependency between them. So it is very scalable, has better speed, and also is more useful for this high dimension data set, the filter method, than the wrapper. Wrapper takes cognizance of the interaction between them or has some complexity. And also embedded uses its own inbuilt features to consider interactions with left computational complexity. The hybrid and example are now the way we bring together the filter and wrapper in most cases. Hybrid, the difference between hybrid and example is example in most cases, they could stand alone as a pre-process, which could be used in another function. But for hybrid, in most cases, it have an hybrid what hybrid does in most cases is embeds. So when you are hybridizing one with the other, you are embedding the qualities or the characteristics of one in the other. Though they work together, but in most cases, they have their own difference, which will be seen in a subsequent slide. All right, sorry. All right, for the example that we're talking about now, we're having two types of example. One is homogeneous, the other is heterogeneous. Why is it homogeneous and why is it heterogeneous? When it is homogeneous, we are having the same data set, and out of data set, you have a sample from the data set, but we are having one feature selection method. So in most cases, it's data driven. Homogeneous are data driven because we are using one feature selection, but we are having subset of those data sets as we have in it on the diagram, and we have methods of aggregation. In most cases, example, we use methods like voting, bagging, boosting for this aggregation technique. And for heterogeneous, and don't forget the primary objective for homogeneous is to increase robustness, stability of the feature selection process. Now, we are very sure of that one feature selection process will help, but we want to see how robust and stable that measure is. So we use different data sets for the same feature selection for the homogeneous. And for the heterogeneous, we are compounding the strength of different feature selection methods. So that is said to be feature driven or feature specific because we are using different feature selection methods on the same data set. And there we can see that from the heterogeneous, it leverages on the strength of different feature selection techniques for more accurate feature selection. So from this heterogeneous, we can see that different feature selection method may still pick the same feature, which further we're going to see how we are going to tackle that one. But we are using the heterogeneous method because we are strengthening the methods so that we have a better accurate with different feature selection methods. That was the problem statement. Most of the feature selection methods are unstable. A feature selection method will have different subset of characteristics that produce different classification accuracy. Also, filter methods do not consider interaction between features. It is said to have feature interaction problems. And from the diagram, we could see that all features have about 7 colors. Out of the 7 colors, when we use one feature selection method, it may remove 4 and give us a 3 as a final output. But when we try to now hybridize it together, it will now capitalize on the strength of different ones, and that is where the instability comes in. When we have different feature selection method, it will pick different features in its own case due to its own criteria for the selection. But when we try to hybridize, or when we try to add this as an example way, it will now harness the strength of each different characteristic that it has to pick something that is better for us. So hence the need for a better way of addressing feature interaction and make the feature selection more robust and stable. And also we look at the objective is to enhance the filter-based discriminative ability to an example of multi-univariate filter approaches to select relevant and non-redundant heterogeneous features with target class. I've tried to explain all those information before here. Now, this is a summary of related literatures that have been actually carried out on filter-based methods and also on example. We're having so many work that has been carried out: correlation-based feature selection, distinguishing feature selection, comprehensively measure feature selection, discriminative feature selection, relative discrimination criterion, minimum redundancy, maximum relevancy, normalized difference feature, max mean ratio, trigonometric comparison. And for the example, we have the example to EFSMI, feature ranking with mean square algorithm, multi-criteria decision, and lastly, we have the ranking and top-based feature selection method, which have said different things about how to use filter methods and example methods to improve classification accuracy. Then the research methodology. This is a framework of what we are going to consider. Don't forget, we've said we are using a heterogeneous example, And by heterogeneous example, we are using different feature selection methods, which we have in chi-square, InfoGain, and ANOVA here. We've done the pre-processing, and each of them will bring in their own content. Chi-square will bring their own selection. InfoGain will bring their own selection. ANOVA will bring their own selection, which will be concatenated. Now, a concatenated weighted voting that we are talking about as topic 1, all of them will bring their own select K best. For example, if each method selects 100, 100, 100, we are concatenating the 100 so that we have 300 as an array. So these 300 that we have now, we have to look at it that different methods use different ranking. Different methods use different weighting to bring out their own things. So, and for heterogeneous, I said it the other time that it's possible that different methods will select this different feature. Different methods will select the same feature. That means we're having the same feature having different weight. So we're going to look at their weight and have the average of the weight that is being selected. That is the weighted. And the voting now, we want to see the majority. In most cases, we now draw that since three methods are being combined together, how many of them have minimum of 2 at least will be selected. But also in the weighting capacity, some could have just a single selection, and yet they have a weight that's discriminative enough, which also will be considered through a threshold. So that's where we have the voted, concatenated method in bringing out features. They will now test it on the classifiers to bring the final output. Now we're using 20 news group and variant, which is 17 news group data set. And the composition of the 20 news group is 18,846 features. And they have over documents, and they have over 100,000 features. And also the 17 news group, 16,075, and they also have been over 100,000. So we have to do some pre-processing to make sure that we are able to get the best from it. And why do we use the evaluation metrics to be accurate? Because they are relatively stable and balanced data set. That's why we are using accuracy as the evaluation metrics. And is the output. We have the proposed methods, the manifest, and for the 20 news group, we did an iteration for 100, 200 to 1,000 in 10 classifiers. So we use 10 classifiers, and we are making a comparison. And this is a chart for the comparison of the test, and this is the output. And also we went further to look at it. Part of the classifier, SVM, LR, gradient boost, RF, KNN, NB, SGD, ADA, ANN, example. Why do we use example? The 8 first classifiers, we add them together because we discover in most cases that when we use different classifiers, they classify things differently. So when we now try to bring all of them together, we still compare it even with ANN. We use ML, the manifest, the proposed method, and this is the output for also for a chi-square and other methods that's being used. This is just the graphical representation of our proposed model and how it fared and how it has actually improved accuracy that is actually compared. Our proposed model is the one on top with that color, the manifest, the chi-square, the ANOVA, and the InfoGain. This is on 20 news group data set, which has given us an overview of how it has actually performed. And it has shown some level of improvement in accuracy above all other methods. And also for the 17 news group, we've also have a table that have given us what we could have as a better output for iterations from 100 to 1,000 for the 10 classifiers. Also, this is the representation of how it has actually fared accuracy against the number of features for the classifiers that actually used for comparison. Also for the statistical significance, we use the t-test at 90% confidence level to see and to test the significance of our work statistically. And we discovered that we picked one of them to test the significance of our work, and we get to see that from interval 100 to 1,000 is significant for InfoGain. Also, for ANOVA and chi-square also have their own significance, though not on 90% accuracy, but on 90% accuracy, we discover that our work actually is better. And these results validate the success of manifest method against other feature selection methods used for comparison. Also, from the experimentation, I will now see that SVM, GB, and SGD are leading classifiers with better accuracies on the 8 classifiers. And for the first 400 iterations, GB was leading, and SVM now took over from 500 iterations to 1,000 iterations, which will also confirm what the ranking top 6 based example. I mean, Fuel et al., what he said in 2023 that says that as the number of iterations increases, SVM tends even to be better and to have a better classification. Also, we compare it with Munifest and with the ANN and the example, and we see that it shows that our method is more robust and perform better feature selection methods than other univariate methods. Also, we also confirm our work. We compare it with other methods, the one done by ranking and top 6 based example feature selection, which is Fuel 2023. And we also discovered that we have a better performance on accuracy as a measurement techniques than the one done by the researcher. Also, on the conclusion, this research aims to improve test application performance through univariate feature selection application containing the ranking, concatenation, weighting, and voting. It was seen that the proposed model Munifest had performed other methods and previous research in the same domain of study. However, the threshold of filter-based feature selection method is usually predefined in most cases. This same concept is followed by Munifest, which can affect both the weight selection and the feature size. So feature work should find a peak threshold to improve the outcomes of different text data sets and mitigate redundancy on variant data set. That's our submission on our research work. We have the references. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Ige, for the presentation. We now open for Q&A. Anybody from the audience? And you check the online too.
I have a question, please.
Okay.
In the beginning, see a robust feature selection, like the robustness. What exactly do you mention robust feature selection?
The beginning was the beginning that said. Yeah, or where? Yeah. Let's continue. Stop.
Which about the robustness of features or robustness of
All right, heterogeneous and homogeneous. Yes.
yeah. I just wanted to understand what does it mean by the robust in terms of what it's defined the robustness.
Now, in the homogeneous and heterogeneous example, homogeneous example has one feature selection. You are using just feature selection. For example, chi-square. Chi-square now, at the end of it, you are sure that what you want, chi-square will be able to give you what you want. But you want to be confirmed that this chi-square is very robust. Robust in the sense that you want to use different data sets, you have a subset of data sets, and use the same feature selection on the data. So you have a different sample of the data set, and you are using one feature selection. So you are verifying to make sure that the data set feature selection does not overfit. That's not a robustness. And he is able to overcome some inconsistency that will actually be done or be seen in between. That's why you are enhancing the robustness of that feature selection method in the homogeneous method. But in the heterogeneous method, you are using different feature selection method. At the end of the day, you are trying to strengthen so that the weakness of one other will become the strength of another, so that we will also have another classification. But mind you, the strength of using homogeneous heterogeneous is for us to have a better feature selection at the end of the day. That's what I'm trying to do.
I see. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And another question is about the metrics, if there's any metrics that are employed to measure the robustness for this feature. Just now you mentioned robustness means reduce the overfitting, right? So it means if you are trying with the proposed or using the algorithm or technique. So it means that if you try or already you reduce the overfitting, right?
Yes, when you reduce overfitting, when you try to make sure that the feature selection, don't forget in heterogeneous, we are combining different methods. Whether homogeneous or heterogeneous, we are combining. But in homogeneous, we are just using one feature selection as against three. So anything you do to it to make sure that it becomes stable, because part of the problem of singular method feature selection is instability, because they give you different accuracy in different feature selection methods. So anything you do to make sure that you're able to strengthen it so that there won't be inconsistency, you are trying to increase it and you make it more robust. That's what I'm trying to say.
So based on that, that's the question. I wanted to ask about the generalization. So now we are training your model based on already known features or existing features or for improved features. How you can guarantee this algorithm or this method or model can still work even for unseen features?
And don't forget that we've divided our data set into three. And when we divide our set, validation data set is there, test data set is there, and the testing data set is there. So from the unseen data, we use the test data to try to measure the unseen data set. We put the validation there so that there won't be any interference between the training data set and the test data set. So validation data set will be an interface in between that helps us so that when you are now looking or checking the test of it, you make sure that it will do well on the test data set, which is an unseen data set.
So you are still using the accuracy metric.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So this is for the evaluation. So you are depending on the validation data set and you are measuring the accuracy.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
So thank you, Doa. Any other question?
One in
Okay, from Webex.
Quebec. From Musa. We asked what it is and you research on text extraction. So what type of features?
20 news group that said, we are talking of news group. Is that the domain I'm working on? That's a top text classification. And I'm using 20 news group as my data set. So we are now extracting text documents so that it will be classified. We're having 20, that's why we call it 20 news group, because we're having 20 classes. And we are now want to look at the class, a document, and see which one did they belong to. Don't forget the other time I talk of also multi-class classification. So that is one form of multi-class classification. I'm trying to use a text, look at the document, and look at the class in which this document belongs to. And that's what I'm doing for text classification.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ige, for the wonderful presentation. Can I take your seat?
Other question?
So we sign out already.
Univariate. Univariate, I chose univariate because univariate can work well in high dimension data set. Because part of the problem we have is the problem of high dimension data set, which I've explained. And univariate methods work well because of the stability, generality. It works well on high dimension data set. Not only that, is more robust and it has less computational complexity. That's part of the reason why I work on univariate data set. Did I answer your question? So because it has an advantage over the other method, because filter univariate data set, one have an advantage of scalability, have an advantage of generality, have an advantage of less computation, that's less computational complexity, and all these together with the speed advantage are what I gather together so that I can complement through example the strength that the filter method has to give me a better accuracy, which is the output that I'm looking for. Thank you.
This one. Yeah, I just like
Okay.
so okay. That's it.
No, wait. Okay, now we invite the last speaker, Mr. Chukun. Did I get it?
Yes.
Okay, to share on the topic, overcoming academic challenges, growth and development in graduate life.
Good evening, professors, classmates, and listeners. I'm glad to see you here for my presentation. I'm Zukun, and my supervisor is Dr. Nahana Samsudin. Today's presentation title is Overcoming Academic Challenges, Growth and Development in Graduate Life. In our graduate life, we will face many academic challenges, but we need to overcome it and grow and develop from it. This is the meaning of our graduate life. This presentation will include 3 parts. The first is research as a graduate student life, as a student, graduate student. I think we need to know who we are first because we have many identities. At home, we may be children, we may be father, we may be husband. In the company, we may be employees or managers. But in this school, our first identity is a student, so we need to learn or to research. Where our identities are in conflict, we need to do the right thing for the situation. Next up is what we need to do. As undergraduate student, all our journey was organized or we just had to follow that. But graduate students are different. Mixed mode or teaching mode students need to choose the right course by themselves. For research mode students, we need to choose the most suitable research topic and follow up on our research project. We need to manage ourselves and no one will interfere too much with our choice. So we need to have a plan and a goal. And even though having a plan may also be challenging, just like this figure, it's related. But we need to have it. Follow the plan to organize our research. Keep updating the plan as the research challenges, so that we can finally reach our goal. As a research student, we need many skills. I also wish I had 3 hands and 6 arms, so that I have more skills. We need all those skills in this picture, but I think the most important ones are the following 4: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Although there are many of those 4, I'm not skilled in. For example, I still prepared my script and speak not so fluently. That's why I also take part in this activity. We need to take every opportunity to make up for our shortcomings. This is why we can make improvements. The following comic also explains why reading is so important. Because without reading enough literature, we are like to see this situation. Although maybe we reading enough literature, maybe this situation also appear. But we reading more papers will help us reduce this situation. Following situation we often meet, we need to keep learning from difficulties. Try not to make the same mistake again. This is a difficult skill. We need to grow from the rejection. When we submit a paper, we need to find the right journals. How to find it? We need to find journals indexed by ISI and Scopes. But even though some journals are indexed, but we need to know some journals are on the blacklist. So how to find it? We can check this website. It's USM library website. Because we don't know about it, USM library often not mention about it. So we need to pay attention about it. We need to check the journal first in this website, and just write the journal's name and search. If it's indexed in this dataset and we cannot submit it. Another part is for finding the information for graduation. When we it's the offer letter, we need to know the requirement for graduation. I don't know, have you seen this picture? I think everyone should know this because we are research mode student and we all know the requirement, right? And another is requirement for thesis. One requirement is from your supervisor. Another is from the IPS. And we need to know the format and how to submit your thesis. And this PDF file has the steps and the format guidelines. If you want this, I can send to you, but you perform to check it in the IPS website. It's your skill. Find information skill. Another is the template you can download in the IPS website. And the last one is the process of graduation. We need to know the steps for submission of our thesis. Those skills we need to master. The second part is life as a graduate student. I don't know what your research life is like or what your expert is to be like. In fact, my expectations for my research life looks a lot like this picture. And I don't know if that's the case for you guys. Actually, that's why I started by saying we need to have a goal and a plan and review it often. We often go through our normal life, day in and day out, and then we lose ourselves. Forgetting what we set out to do in our first place. The following picture is also my real life reaction. We love to download many papers at once. We think we will read them all and carefully. But after reading many papers, we are like the picture. I guess if you are like that too, or in the future too. But remember, reading paper is our necessary thing. And this is one part of graduate life. In researching life, we need to be aware of our status in life. Because many of us have the stress of life and graduation, or maybe we spend a lot of time alone working on paper. This makes us feel desperate sometimes, especially when a problem cannot be solved. This is common in computer science because we meet different kinds of model bugs. We cannot change the bug's existence or our environment, but we can change our mood. Maybe you change your mood, your bugs also can be solved. So how to change your research life and give yourself a new mood? I think we can take part in more activities. The activities can be related to your major, your hobbies, or nothing at all. Those activities we can get out of the disparate mood. It's not really just a change of mood, but we can also meet new people. Those new friends can bring a little different taste of our boring life. In this photo is Dr. Sukuma. I only know him from the online class. At that time, I thought he was a normal lecturer. I didn't feel his speaking ability was really great until I met him at the activity. And I would like to speak with more humor and defense like him. And he told me a lot. More than just learning something, we can actually be encouraged or something. Just attending the event and receiving encouragement from Professor Mamit. And I also want to learn from Professor Mamit because he's very courageous and he can cut this. If you don't want to meet new friends, you also have a lot of ways to change your mood, such as recording the good moments in your boring life. It might just be a good meal in the USM or just a good sunset. This picture is I take photo in the Gurney Plaza, and or a cute cat in the USM. All of those can change your research life. The last part is about relationship. I have divided this part into 3 books. The first is the relationship with yourself. You are still the same no matter what others think of us. But we will grow and develop in our research life, and we can get better. You know yourself better than anyone else in the world. Even though reviewers may think your paper is trouble, but your paper can be improved, and so can you. Even though you know yourself the best in the world, sometimes we don't know ourselves well enough, like this picture. So we also need to follow some advice of others. Academic life is not easy, so we must learn to take the bitter with the sweet. Don't give up easily, no matter how many difficulties. It's only the immediate difficulties. Like in the past, we meet many difficulty exams, and we already come, and we can do it. Next is the relationship with our supervisor. So how do you deal with conflict? Do you keep quiet and agree with anything your supervisor says and suggests? Sometimes supervisor seem like to have the magic. They say something, but we know nothing. There are many times when my supervisor asks, "Why have you done that?" And I want to reply with, "Because you told me to." Supervisor has simply forgotten she told me to do something. I keep quiet for quiet life. For quiet life. But the important point is you must let your supervisor know what you think. This will make your supervisor understand and support what you are doing next and reduce unnecessary problems. I think most questions about academic, probably the supervisor will be right. The supervisor just might not know what you think. This is why it's important to let your supervisor know what you are going to do and and how you are going to do it. So this cartoon situation has happened to me, and I don't think there's anything wrong with the professor's words in this picture, because my supervisor revised my paper was pretty much the same as rewrite, and better than my previous ones. But we also need to keep learning from those things so that we can grow as well. By the way, everyone has their own thing they need to do. We need to conduct research, but supervisor may also need to attend a class or spend time with families. We may get anxious if the supervisor doesn't respond to your email or your message in a time manner. But we also need to think differently, stand in supervisor's perspective. Maybe they just busy, or maybe they are busy doing something, or then they forget to reply your message or your email. If they don't reply for a long time, just ask again. The last work is live with others. Here's two situations we meet when living with others. One is when we are done with all of chores and we have no energy left for our research. Another is when we are working on our research and some gossip comes to you. We need to go ahead and try to take care of others while we finish the plan first. It's a question we have from time to time, how to keep a balance between life and the research. It's hard to say. I think everyone has everyone's own way of doing things, but we need to follow our plan first. When living with others, I also hear a question a lot. To be honest, it's a question I don't really want to hear because it's come up more or less all the time. That question is, when are you graduating? So when are you graduating? This question includes the expectation of your friends and your family. Although we have plans, we are not sure we will graduate on time. That's why this question is sometimes so hard to answer. But next time you can answer, research student is just like having a baby. Some come out at 8.5 months, and some at the end of September and still haven't moved. It's just the due date. Who knows when the baby is coming? Okay, it's a joke. At the end of this, I still hope everyone graduates on time and can group and develop in USM, in the computer of science. Okay, thank you. My presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chukun. Now open for questions and answers. Okay.
Hello, Victor. Yes.
Life is very good.
Thank you.
I came during the COVID-19.
Yeah.
So after the necessary 14 days of quarantine, I was moved to my personal hotel.
Yeah.
I went to the hotel, and actually the my graduates. I came in first, so later came
Good.
to the hotel.
Wow.
So we're staying beside each other in the room.
Yeah.
And sometimes after the little bit of the down from COVID-19, we were like, they're allowed to talk to each other. I'll come out of my room and see come out. So the later time, we were like exchanging greetings.
Yeah.
They know that it's also in computer science. They didn't know I'm in computer science.
Yeah.
Later time, I just like talk a little bit and exchange pleasantries and greetings. He gets to know that from computer science, and I get to know that. But then we stay beside each other in the same room. That's bonding, and that's the bonding we're looking for. And one day, he called me and he said, "Oh, come into his room and come and look at his one of his experiments that he was working on." I said, "Oh, that's just a great guy." So I came into his room and I looked at the blackboard. He's very good. He's a good guy in PyTorch.
Yeah.
I work on PyTorch. I work on TensorFlow, but he's very good with PyTorch. And I checked and I said what he's actually doing and all that. And he didn't know that I actually learned something from him. And I want to tell him that I learned something from him today. When he was actually working the system, he has a system on the fan that can actually pull up the system. And that time also, my own system, things like get calls. So I'm working. I said, oh, okay. So when I saw what he was doing and placing the system on the fan, I said, okay, what is this? Okay, can get okay. So can you also get the plan for my laptop so that I can actually put it down. So such little things take a long way. Such little things keep us bonding together. And today we are seeing ourselves. We are so much happy. And kudos to you too.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I also remember we met first time because your name.
Yeah.
The pronounce is like Victor.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? I think Mr. Kuhn has shared a postdoctoral experience instead of a master student's experience, if you can attest to what he has done. I met him the first time during excursion,
Yeah.
and during our
I
discussion.
also have a special gift for my supervisor.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So
Because
during-
this topic is comic, and I also have a photo. It's comic about comic weight.
Okay. So during our discussion, we discovered that we have the same supervisor. And when I saw his name today, I was shocked. I thought it's a different student, not the one I know. So thank you. So he's inviting his supervisor.
This is the photo.
Wow.
Yes, yes. FPT 2023.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. This is Katua.
Kun and Katun.
Yeah. This is also Katun, and it's for you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you.
You cannot take your seat. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Not
Okay, I will remove for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, on the slide.
Okay.
The slide again. Where's the slide? To go and open.
Okay. On.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah.
I think it's not shared, right? Shared.
Is this
Not shared.
okay?
Open that. Okay. If you share again, and then you go to the same
Yeah.
share. Go to that same space. Where was it?
Wait. It's coming.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, close that.
Minimize.
You must again. Close this. Go and show. Open this.
Yeah.
You must open that slide.
Okay. It's now open.
Okay. So share first and then go to that same space and open it. And press the slide. Yeah. Close it. Slide.
So this. Okay.
Close this side first. Close it. Close it.
This is
Okay, this is our plan. All right. And then now we need to actually.
okay.
Let's see. Ada berapa dah? Okay, then.
Sorry. Okay. Okay, may I now invite my supervisor, Dr. Nuhana Samsudin, to present certificates to the presenters, to the speakers, please. The first speaker is Mr. Ige Oluwaseun Peter. The second speaker, Mr. Chukun. Thank you, Dr. Nohana Samsudin. Announcements. There will be a sanitation on the 17th of October. That will be on a Friday. November. Sorry, I'm reading the slides instead of passing the message. Sorry about that. 17th of November, we still send it on our platforms. 17th of November, we are to converge at PG Lodge by 3 p.m. dot. From there, we do the needful, and we are told that CSD points and refreshment will be provided on that day. So do endeavor to attend. It's compulsory for all of us who are on campus, who are around. So endeavor to do that. So before we end, I will pass the time to our advisor, Professor Mohammed, to give us some information.
Right. Thank you very much, Gabriel. So this is just to all the postgraduate students, and also maybe the staff can come and help as well. So they are going to actually just gotong royong or clean up certain spaces. And then I think it's a very good thing that we can be aware of our environment, our space. Okay. So we hope to see all of you next week, 17 November, Friday. Okay. Be there. And this is for our next journal club, which is going to be on 24th November by Service Computing. And to all of you, please actually fill up the feedback as well. Okay, and thank you very much to the speakers that are here today with us. I really enjoyed the research that is presented by Ige and also Zukun. I saw the sense of humor and also the graduate study part. Very good perspective, yeah. And to my colleague, thank you for being here. Dr. Chia, thank you. Prof. Bahari. And to all the students who never stop supporting us, thank you for being here. There is light refreshment as well. Help yourself. And to those online, hope to see you soon. Okay, so thank you very much. Thanks.
So thank you, Professor Mohammed, for the closing remarks. We can now take our refreshment and retire back to our labs. Okay, you resume. So